Let's get the AMA kicked off. Hey, Pablo, how are you doing?
Hello, what's up?
StreamETH has been big in the industry, so I'm just curious if you first want to context set us for what StreamETH does.
Yes. Um, Hello, everyone in the audience. Happy to see you guys. So quick recap of what we do at StreamETH. So we have kind of like two main, one product and one service. The service is focused around providing video support to events. So we work closely with the Ethereum Foundation, where we basically produce DevCon and DevConnect for them, like all the video aspects of that and live streaming aspects. And then we also have a product. We have a decentralized video platform that helps organizations and content creators go live on Livepeer. They can have their own channel page. They can host videos. And we also have like a studio area where they can use our AI tooling offering to produce content, basically. So that's what we do. And we've been doing that for a few years already. I think this is year 3 or 4. I don't know.
Amazing.
But
Yeah, and I know you do like so many big events, which is always so valuable for Livepeer's network. And I know you guys are big. So, second question: I know you recently passed an SPE, so I want you to kind of share with the community what the SPE is doing. Any progress you've made there, what that's looking like.
Yeah, we're working hard with the SPE. The main focus of the SPE is to basically, align the brands of StreamETH and Livepeer. So we felt like in the past, StreamETH was providing services to like very big events, but the Livepeer brand was kind of like hidden. So we used Livepeer under the hood, but we weren't really showcasing that. So the idea with the SPE was to basically really forfeit a bit like our brand exposure to highlight Livepeer and the Livepeer network. So yeah, I think it's been quite good so far. We've been basically following our roadmap and servicing the events that we were already servicing and trying to reach to as many people as possible and get the Livepeer brand out there. And so it's been pretty good. And now we have this huge opportunity with DevConnect that's coming up in November in Argentina, which is going to be pretty huge. I think it's going to be the biggest event that the EF has put together so far. We're also, for DevConnect, we're like changing up how the event is. And so we're doing like a world fair that's bringing a lot of the ecosystem participants in the Ethereum community there. Of course, Livepeer is going to be there. We're already working on that. But Argentina is like a super vibrant ecosystem. Everyone is like very hyped. All eyes are set on the event and the impact that it's going to have. So most of our time is focused right now on that. And before Argentina, there's also a small project called Destino DevConnect, which aims to support many communities, not only in Argentina, but in Latam. So a lot of communities in Latam, like ETH Rio, ETH Bogota, that they all will do events before that. So we're also involved in supporting those communities live stream their content. So yeah, very busy. Latam is like adopting crypto at a rate that's never seen before, and we're trying to have Livepeer be in the mix as well. So very exciting.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm curious what narratives, because something we've been talking internally a lot at Inc. is like, narratives that will help Livepeer break out. So through your work at StreamETH and also the SP that you launched, what narratives are you finding the most compelling to people on the ground that makes people's eyes light up when you're talking about what we're doing?
Yeah, good question. So I think the holy grail narrative for me is like the whole censorship resistance idea that's like been core to our value proposition is the beginning, and it is like very hard to convey because it's a problem that people don't see until like shit hits the fan, I would say.
Right.
But like, and it's also like as a founder, it's also hard to kind of like keep that core to your product because censorship resistance doesn't really make money. But yeah, ultimately you have to stay true to your values, and also I think the SPE kind of like allows that, right? Because it's like
Totally.
a funding source. But yeah, censorship resistance for me is like very important to keep that offering up. So like events want to go to YouTube, but you also need to have like this decentralized alternative out there in case things happen, and things are happening. Like we've seen, like the world is a mess right now. So like Russia, Ukraine, places are, literally censored. I'm not gonna judge if it's good or bad, but they are censored. So we don't know who could be next, right? So yeah, to me that's like very valuable. And when you have time to explain why it's valuable, people also like kind of like jump on the idea and push you on. And yeah, of course, I mean, but the easiest like narrative to convey, of course, is like the whole AI. I think Livepeer has a huge opportunity now to kind of push this idea of being the decentralized network for AI compute, specialized on video. So this is very easy to convey, right? People understand this very very fast. Like compute cost for AI are like through the roof on AWS and like other compute platforms. So saying that Livepeer is like way cheaper than all the other platforms, and it's permissionless, it's decentralized, it's open source. People really get that fast and are like, oh wow, I didn't know this existed out there. Let me look into it. So yeah, we do a lot of field work. Me especially, I've been doing like a lot of field work, trying to explain what Livepeer does and why Livepeer exists. And when people hear about it, they're really excited. So that's
that's a strong position for us to be in. I'm curious, what are some features that StreamETH has that helps it stand apart from competitors? Because I know that you recently integrated Livepeer AI, exploring kind of like AI, the intersection of like AV and AI. So yeah, tell me kind of more about that space for you.
Yeah, good question. I mean, in terms of competition, I think we are like very niche since we're focused on kind of like a B2B aspect. So most of the platforms on Livepeer are more B2C, right? So our customers are usually event companies or people that produce companies that produce a lot of content, right? So we're focused. So we don't have a lot of competition in that sector, I would say. I guess like there's of course Web2 products have the same offering as us. You can think of our main competitor, Vimeo. Of course, they're like gigantic compared to us, but like we have kind of product offering. They pivoted to more like a B2B business model, and we're trying to follow that. And yeah, our feature set right now is focused around making content creation super easy, right? So right now we are building AI video editor that allows you to edit your live streams in real time super easily. So that is very relevant for events because they have like a lot of hours of content for each for the conference, right? So we make it easy for them to edit all their footage very easily and then publish that on their socials super fast to kind of maximize the impact that content has during and after the event. So right now, for instance, DevCon and ETC also, they use StreamETH, and they can get all their like speaker videos out hours after they happen, and that's like pretty special. No other conference do this, and the impact is of course huge. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. The kind of next question is a little bit related to the last one, but more on the conferences side. Since you go to so many conferences, I know you're like a wealth of knowledge there. So I'm curious what your thoughts on how conferences are currently being run in Web3 and potentially like where you have identified improvements that could be made and where potentially Livepeer, how we can, make more impactful conferences or how we can, help improve the conference circuit. Yeah.
Damn, that one's spicy. Right,
We
because
have to make it spicy somehow.
I mean, so 4 years doing events, it's like a short time, but it actually looks like decades. And
Yeah,
like,
I feel like it would feel long.
yeah, exactly. Like it's super intense, and the event space has evolved a lot in crypto, especially. I feel like everyone is trying to copy the same recipe of like finding sponsors, finding good speakers, and having like great panels and talks, which is nice. But eventually, I think like the conference circuit is a bit saturated with this. Everyone is like very tired of listening to the same things over and over again,
Right.
and very tired of being like bombarded by the same sponsors everywhere you go. So I think the trend now is like to do like very intimate events that connect people, right? And I think actually Livepeer is doing great events with Daydream and like with the partners in the network. So like for instance in New York we did a collaboration with UFO and Refraction. I wasn't there, but my team was there, and Nick from UFO was there, and it was really nice. Like having a party where you actually showcase your product and just let people jam and enjoy your product without having to like sit in some chair listening to panels and talks. I think that's the way to go. Overall, right? Like intimacy and connection. I would say those are like the words.
Right.
And I think everyone is trying to do that right now. Of course, you need like panels and talks at some point, but if you have a small budget and a small event, I would say, yeah, keep it small and let people connect as much as possible. That's my idea.
Yeah, yeah, so much good stuff there, and I see there's a comment about it's really hard to kind of justify which is going to be high impact for Livepeer, and historically in this I've been in Web3 longer than I've been at Livepeer, and I've always been historically been very bearish on conferences. You know, no shade, but I always feel like how do we get the message out there, right? And what kind of conference structure can we use to break through just the Web3 circuit to a larger persona that might bring in more folks. So really, really excellent thoughts there. So thanks for sharing them. Any additional ones you want to share?
Yeah. Just continuing on what you were saying, like for DevConnect, I don't want to spoil too much, but like the whole idea here is, so we're doing this World Fair where we showcase applications. So we don't want to have like some random stands and like people just, the classic ETH stand that everyone hates, or at least I hate. Like we're trying to really make the fair feel alive, right? And to have a lot of new people come in, get them onboarded into a wallet, and get them like using the apps in the ecosystem. And I think it's gonna be like super novel the way we're doing this, and so and it could actually change the direction of how people organize conferences and events in crypto, because like right now we're in the phase where you can actually interact with the apps, right? With like DeFi, with like Livepeer has a bunch of apps already that can be used. Gaming is like already functional. So like we're now in the era of like talking about ideas and like actually use the products in the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, it's something I've noticed at Livepeer as we develop our SPs. I've been calling it the projectization of the network, and how we're starting to see these like, I think of everything in like images, but you have this large bubble that's Livepeer, and you're starting to see bubbles pop out of it that can stand on their own. That are, I think StreamETH is one of the earliest examples of that, at least that I'm aware of in my tenure here. So yeah, I think we're really starting to come to a compelling era for Livepeer. And I see Casey in the audience who's Soulbound TV. I think that's another example. So we're moving towards a very interesting world here at Livepeer. So, in the last minute, I just want to, we could have a whole conversation about this, and I have so many opinions on conferences, but my last
Maybe,
thing is, oh, go ahead.
yeah, something about the SPEs, because I think it's interesting. Because I've been like in touch with a lot of public good people working in public goods, especially in Optimism,
Right.
BGF team. And I think, what the SPEs right now in Livepeer is like very unique. Not so many ecosystems have like some kind of retro funding or funding program.
Right.
And I do think it's like extremely innovative what's happening here. Like there's no other company or project in history that's able to like dump money into its community and like see what happens, right? And like
Right.
people from the outside can think it's crazy, but I think now is the time to really, if you have an idea on how to use Livepeer and like if you want to build a project or like a community or something like this, right now is the time to really use the funding of the community to like push your idea out there. And so far, I think most of the SPEs have been highly successful. They have their own path, right, and their own idea of what success is. And I think the community really feels alive right now, thanks to the SPEs. Like I can see origin stories there, stream, like so many projects in the audience that are part of the SPE program. So I think it's been super successful so far. Yeah, so pretty bullish on the SPs and
Yeah. Yeah, and my comment there is, I really think that Doug is pretty visionary in the kind of SP structuring ahead of its time in many ways. That's the power of the chain, right? That's the power of this infrastructure is we can start to explore different economic models and different ways of investment in our communities and in our people. And I think when you actually give people that trust to say, hey, let's decide together what we should invest in, what we should, lift up, right? That idea of community autonomy, a magic starts to happen. I think we're just seeing the beginning of that, of that magic. And I think it'll only continue to accelerate as we continue to bring more people into the community, as well as invest in the brilliant people who are already here. So last question, we're a bit over time. So the last question I want to ask is what's next for StreamETH?
Yeah, like I said, Argentina, from the service perspective and from a product perspective, we actually have quite an interesting project in collaboration with UFO. So we're actually thinking of forking StreamETH into what I call like the Livepeer CMS. But yeah, I'll share more details down the road. But it's basically making an open source project that allows people to very easily use the network with some kind of like data structures that you need to build video applications. So Livepeer allows you to upload a video, but like you need to attach some metadata around that video. And right now that's not possible. So that's why we're thinking about making this open source CMS. Yeah, Web3 video CMS. So yeah, that's something very interesting, that an opportunity that just came up to work on with UFO. So I'll keep you guys and girls and everyone updated. So
yeah, that's super exciting stuff. Now, where can people find you, your personal as well as StreamETH?
StreamETH is at StreamETH on Twitter, and my Twitter I can leave it in the chat, or you can find it through StreamETH most likely, and you can find me in Lisbon. That's where I live. But
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Pablo. This is a great conversation. Thank you for all the hard work promoting and developing Livepeer's network. Always a pleasure.
Yes. Adios. Thank you.
Bye.